Welcome back to JosephWX. I'm Joseph, and we have a notably sharper picture today on Thursday's severe weather setup than we did 24 hours ago. The models have come into better agreement. SPC has updated their outlook, and there are some specific details you need to hear, especially if you're in the Ohio Valley or Great Lake region. Let's get into it. If you watched yesterday's deep dive, you know the broad strokes of the setup. What changed today is the specificity. We now have high resolution guidance and range, and the picture it's painting is concerning in a few key areas. This isn't a situation where the threat has backed off. If anything, the details are coming in more focused. The Storm Prediction Center is now especially stating that scattered strong to severe thunderstorms are expected into late Thursday afternoon and evening hours across parts of the Midwest and Ohio River Valley. And they're specifically calling out very large hail, a few tornadoes, and severe winds as all being possible. That's a meaningful statement from the SPC, all the three primary hazards on the table in the same corridor. Let's break each one of them down. Here's where it gets really interesting from a meteorological standpoint. Let me walk through what the high res guidance is showing us. Storm initiation is expected by late afternoon across the southern Lake Michigan region as the cold front begins to push into a plume of returning Gulf moisture. That there is your trigger. The boundary provides the lift, and the moisture provides the fuel. Now, here's the important nuance. A stout cap sitting at the base of an elevated mix layer, what we call an EML, will likely limit storm coverage early on. That's actually not bad news. A cap holds strong long enough allows instability to build and then release explosively when storms finally do fire, than a steady stream of disorganized convection that never gets its act together. And then the autographs basically are elongated with 40 to 50 knot effective bulk shear values, and that's going to promote discrete to semi-discrete supercell organization, at least for the first hour or two after initiation. 40 to 50 knots of shear is solidly in supercell territory. That window of discrete storm mode is the most dangerous part of this event. On instability, most guidance suggests MU Cape will, or also known as most unstable Cape, will struggle to exceed 500 to 750 kilojoules. I want to be transparent with you. That's on the modest side. It's not a high-end instability environment, but it's enough, especially when you pair it with the shear we just talked about. Now, the supercell composite, basically, SC, SCP, basically, in a short term, is running upwards of 8 to 12 in the threat corridor. For context, an SCP of 1 is enough to support supercells. 8 to 12 is very favorable environment. That number alone tells me these storms mean business they get if they can get going. Let me go hazard by hazard with the updated picture. Hail. This is the lead threat Thursday. Large to very large hail, 2 to possibly 3 inches in diameter, appears possible with the strongest supercells. 2 to 3 inches, that's baseball to softball size hail. That is significant damaging hail. If you're in the threat zone, the car goes in the garage door before noon on Thursday. Don't wait until you see lightning. Tornado conditions are real. The elongated holographs and discrete supercell mode in the early window give storms the structure needed for tornado production. The tornado threat is tied to that discrete supercell window. Before storms upscale into a line, that's the period to watch most closely. Damaging winds likely as the evening progresses. Latest high-res guidance, including the HRRR, RRFS, and the MPAS solutions, all suggest relative quick upscale growth along the front by early evening. Once that upscale growth happens and storms consolidate into a line, wind becomes the dominant hazard. Widespread 60 plus mile per hour gusts possible, even 75 plus mile per hour is possible, well east of the initial i- initiation area. Now here is your rough timeline for Thursday, late in the late afternoon. Storm initiation near the southern Lake Michigan as the front pushes in. Watch this area first. Late afternoon into early evening, the highest end window, discrete supercells that are possible with the full tornado hail and wind threat on the table. This is when I'd be more alert. And into evening hours. Upscale growth likely into a squall line mode takes over. Wind threat spreads eastward into the Ohio Valley, basically in Ohio through like into Illinois and Missouri. If you're east of the initiation zone, Indiana, Ohio, and western Pennsylvania, your threat window is primarily the evening hours as the line moves through. I said this yesterday and I'll say it again. Knowing the threat exists is only half the job. Here's what you need to do today, not Thursday morning. Know your shelter location, lowest interior floor, away from the windows. If you're in a mobile home or vehicle when warnings goes up Thursday, you need a pre-planned destination. A nearby permanent structure. Have that figured out now. Have a NOAA weather radio or make sure your phone's wireless emergency alerts are turned on. Don't silence your phone Thursday afternoon and watch your local timing. The squall line will move quickly. Some areas may only have a 30 to 60-minute window from the first warning to all clear. Stay plugged in the entire afternoon and evening. And also, too, make sure you charge your phones. Make sure you have everything set up. Now, that is your updated Thursday severe weather breakdown. The threat is real, it's focused, and the models are in solid agreement. Hail is the lead hazard. Tornadoes are on the table during the discrete supercell window, and winds take over as the line consolidates by evening. I have one more short update Wednesday night once the overnight NAM runs come in and sharpen the timing further. If warnings go up Thursday after 4, we may be going, we, depends on when I get home, may be going live. Hit the bell icon so you don't miss it. Stay safe, stay weather aware, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.